Welcome to Rome Howell, an ongoing conversation around a more authentic and intuitive way of marketing and business. I'm your host, Jennifer Gardner, and my passion is supporting you in creating magnetic content and systems that grow your business in a way that feels expansive, easier, and energetically aligned with your whole self. Because there's a new paradigm of business, marketing, and messaging where we show up as our multidimensional selves and connect deeply with those we are here to serve. On the show, we're going to explore how you can do that, tips for staying creative and visible without burning yourself out, and have conversations with online creators, trailblazers, and other business owners about their approach to creating work they love. Welcome to the conversation. Now let's dive in. You guys know that I'm all about entrepreneurship and creativity, and I absolutely love combining those things with technology. I mean, that's been my obsession now for many, many years. And the online business world is something that's intrigued me so much to the point of total obsession. And in my online business adventures, I have met some of the most inspiring, intelligent, ambitious, well-rounded people. And what I really love about these people is not only when they're good at coming up with ideas, but good on following through and with executing on those ideas and acquiring the technical know-how and skill that they need to make those ideas become a reality. So my friend Kerrie Fitzgerald, who is on today's podcast, is one of those people. Kerrie is such an inspiration to me. She is a typical online entrepreneur. She started a subscription box business called The Dapper Dog and sold it for boatloads of money not long ago. And now she takes that expertise and she's teaching other people who want to start subscription box and e-commerce product-based businesses how to sell their stuff online. So Kerrie is a total whiz at SEO, search marketing, how to do Pinterest, social media marketing, how to build websites, how to run a subscription and e-commerce based business, and all the things you need if you want to leverage technology to grow your business. I have learned so much from Kerrie. I'm also so happy that she's my friend. And we had a conversation that we designed specifically for people who are curious about and seeking information about how they might do something like this themselves. I mean, I cannot be the only person who wonders, gee, I wonder if I could make money by selling X product online. Well, that's what this conversation is about. We take one of my ideas, which is I have an idea for a dog bed using a very specific kind of fabric. And Kerrie kind of walks me through what I'd need to do to get started. Anyway, if you've ever wondered whether you want to start like a similar kind of business, then you definitely want to listen into this episode. And even if you haven't, if you're interested in learning how to leverage technology and social media and digital marketing and all the things to grow your business, like any kind of business, even if it's a service-based business, you're going to want to listen because I'm sure you're going to learn something that you find helpful. So here we go. Here's the conversation with Kerrie Fitzgerald. Hey, Kerrie.
Hello, Jennifer.
Hello, and welcome to the podcast. I'm so excited for today's interview. After some technical glitches, which I won't bore the listeners with, we're back with another conversation about what it takes if you have a idea for a product or something, a thing, a widget that you want to sell online. Like, how would you do that? And you are the expert. So I thought of you, and I'm so happy you agreed to join me.
So excited to be here. I love all things e-commerce, subscription box, and I love teaching people or sharing some tips so other people can start their dream business without the stress and hassle that I had to go through when I started my business. So I'm very happy to be here.
Tell us a little bit about that business.
So I started a subscription box business back in 2016. So this was, it was called the Dapper Dog Box, and it was a high-end pet subscription box. And the idea kind of came to me one day when I was at the gym, and I, had recently left a career, a I worked at a company for 5 years and wanted something different. And I got the idea one day at the gym and just said, I want to start a subscription box business. I had never thought about it before in my whole life. The idea popped into my head and I was ready for something different. I was ready to do something on my own and just kind of went for it. I literally thought about it for a couple of days. And then like a month later, I had my logo, I had my domain name purchased. So it kind of happened quickly, but that's my personality. Like if I want something, I go for it full speed ahead. Probably just like you, Jennifer, I'm going to assume. That's like a little bit about the business, but yeah, it was a subscription box where we would send monthly boxes of items to pampered pets and their parents.
Oh, I love that. And yeah, I'm a lot like that. I'm a million ideas before breakfast. And I really, I'm not kidding. Hey guys, like for all of you who are listening right now, of course, Kerrie and I are friends and we had to like catch up with life in general before we started recording this to share with you. And we were talking about that very issue, which is when you're super creative and you just love the act of creation. It's so much fun to come up with these ideas and play around with them. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to have Kerrie on the show, because of course, I have thought I'd like to sell a product, and I actually have an idea for a product that I want to sell. And I even have picked Kerrie's brain about like what it would take. And I figured, you know what, we should just use this podcast as an opportunity for me to ask her, which would be the same information she'd give to you if you were to ask her, like what's involved and what do I do? Okay, so here's my idea for the product. I saw this really amazing fabric. It's made out of like a Indian style blanket. And I want to make them into dog beds. That was my idea for the product. This won't surprise anybody in light of what I just said. I've had like 2 more ideas for products since then, but let's stick with this original one. So Kerrie, if you were advising me what I need to do in order to make this dream of mine a reality. Let's say I have my prototype. Okay. I have that already, like the actual thing. What would you suggest I do in order to start selling the damn thing online and make some money?
Okay. So you have your prototype. So I'm going to assume here, I'm going to backtrack a little because I feel like we need to mention the basic steps, which are extremely important. So 1, like you have already identified your ideal customer, and 2, you have validated your idea with that ideal customer. So I'm going to assume that you've done those 2 things first. And if you haven't, that's where you start off with.
I'm laughing because this is the part that even marketers would love to skip over, especially those creative ones like me that are just like into their idea and don't really, they just like enjoy having the idea so much that they don't really think about that very important foundational step. They don't think about it at first. So let's talk a little bit about that because it is, as we know, so super important.
So important. Yeah. So I would argue that that's really the most important step, I believe, of like entire product business. Is like you have to know and identify who your ideal customer is, and you want to like get really deep here. So if you are selling pet products, you want to really who's your dream customer? Because here's the thing, you create a product that suits that one person, and you could create a product that is very high end, and that's for your Beverly Hills dog mom who, sends her dog to daycare every day and, sends them to like the fancy dog boarding and probably gets groomed every week or something, versus like, and I don't want to sound insulting here, but like maybe like the dog mom based in Florida, let's say, who, this is going to come off rude, I'm sorry. We'll just say a different dog mom who maybe doesn't treat their dog like a child, and they don't value expensive grooming or expensive products for their dog. So it's still a dog mom, but they're 2 very different people. So it's very important that you really, really dig into who you're targeting and then talk to that person, like find those people and validate your idea, like show them images, get feedback on the name of the product, the idea of the product, how it works, the colors, the shapes, all that kind of stuff, and make sure that your product is something that they would actually want to buy. So those are two things that even for my own clients, when I work with a client, like I want to get that information from them. And 99% of the time, they have no idea who they're targeting, and they have not ever validated their business idea. So
Okay.
it's something that most people do completely gloss over. So.
Okay. That makes total sense to me. But here's my question. How do you get feedback on your product details or specifications? How do you do that?
I mean, I feel like even if you're in the early stages, you would probably want to have some kind of either like a sample, a mock-up. So for me, I had a subscription box. And so I had no detail other than here is my idea of what I'm going to be giving the people, the customers. I'm going to be doing a box. It's going to be more high end. I'm going to have high quality treats like grain-free, organic. The toys are going to be, personalized if your dog is a heavy chewer. And I kind of gave them like the key selling points of the box. And I said, I want to include this many items. I want to, what else did I say? Oh, at that point, I wanted to include something for the dog mom as well, like human items. And when I validated my idea, every single person said they didn't want the human item. They were like, no, we don't want this. We like disposable things. Like the dog will eat the treats. The dog will ruin the toys. It's not going to clutter up our house. And so based on that feedback, I didn't include the human stuff in the box. And so that was really, really valuable for me because again, if I create a product and then people don't like it, then my business probably wouldn't have been successful at all. So I feel like you have to just give people as much information as you can. If you have images, better. If you have samples, like here's an image of what here's an image of what I think that I want to do. You have to give them something, but even if you just give them your idea, like the bare bones, I want to create a dog bed. This is the material. Here's an example of what I think I'm going for, and just give them an image. I think that would be okay.
Okay. Then my question is, who do you ask and how do you ask them?
So you have to so again, the first step is like, this is my ideal customer. So for you, that could be, I'm going to assume, let's say your ideal customer is like, I know that you're in LA. Let's say maybe at Beverly Hills or West Hollywood or Venice Beach, like dog mom in their 30s, their dog is their child. They pamper them. They also shop at these shops. So you would choose like the high end shops in LA. Like I know they have the fancy pet stores because I used to go to those for my dog when I lived in California. And then you basically, once you know that person, then you kind of find those people. So for me, I found people on Facebook groups, and I kind of like reached out to my friends, family, and I said, I'm kind of looking for people that have purchased dog subscription boxes. Do you know anyone that I could talk to? And that's kind of how I dwindle down my market research list. But you have to be a bit creative. I find that Facebook groups are a really, really easy way, or just personal connections.
Okay. So there we go. It's asking people you know and looking for people who are interested or might be interested online, for example, in Facebook. And another place to go, I find, is Amazon reviews. Amazon reviews are like a great source of information. And so is Reddit, but that's for a different kind of a product. It's more for like an intellectual product as opposed to a physical product, but it still can be an amazing source of intelligence. But it's basically digging around online.
Yeah. And the other thing too that I would just add, since we're kind of talking about that, is, and this, I would include this in your basic first steps when you're coming up with your product idea is, and it's exactly what you just said, Jennifer. Reading reviews will give you so much information. Like you have no idea. Find your competitors, figure out what they're not doing right, and then you do the right thing. So find your competitors online, look at the customer reviews. If you dig enough into customer reviews, it tells you everything that you need to do for your business. They will tell you what they don't like about the company or the products. They will tell you what you love, and they'll give you the opportunities. So you want to dig around and figure out what is like BarkBox not doing, or what is like fab, fit, fun not doing? And what do the customers want? What do the customers wish that company could do differently? And that's what you do for your business. So you always want to make your product, you want to try to have some sort of unique selling point about your product. And I do find that digging into reviews will literally tell you a lot of what you need to know. So I would say that would be another key thing to do too.
Okay, excellent. So let's say we know who our ideal client is. We have validated our idea. We have a prototype, ideally in that order. Okay, what do we do next? Okay, so I have validated the fact that there are other people who want to buy this dog bed, and I know how to make it. What do I do now, Kerrie?
So do you have like a product name? Do you have the price point established?
No.
Okay. So I would say beyond like the legal aspect, so like buying your domain, you want to obviously come up with your business name and all that, kind of like the boring stuff, business name, domain, that kind of thing, which is very important, of course. I think the next step would be establishing more of the product. So coming up with the price point, and then maybe like the name of the product, where I feel like the name is something that, you'll figure out over time, but pricing your product for profit, that's really, really important. So especially if it's a product that if you're making it, so if it's a dog bed, you're going to have to, for this one, you'd have to find either a manufacturer or someone to make the product if that's not going to be you. So I would say that might be actually the next step before pricing.
Okay. So we've now found our manufacturer. We have dotted our I's and crossed all of our legal T's. And right, I'm just skipping over that, even though I'm a lawyer, but that is a very important point of it. It is a very important part of it. I meant to say, people, it's really, really important that you make sure that those foundational items are really handled. Okay, so let's say that you have handled all of that. You have your pricing, and what do you do now to market it? Like, how do you bring something like this to market?
So the first thing that you need to do is you need to get your website done. So website and product photos. Those are, in my opinion, single-handedly the most important way to market and sell a product. Is you have to have incredible product photos, and you need to have a good website. It does not have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be a fancy $10,000, custom website, but it needs to be okay. I would start a website on Shopify. 100% Shopify is my go-to platform. It's easy to use. You can literally scroll through if you know that you're going to be doing a dog bed company or a different industry or niche. They have themes for everything, and you can literally find a great little theme. You pop in your photos, pop in some website copy, make it simple. It does not have to be anything fancy to start off with. And you want to get that up and running because you need a website for people to buy from you. And then when it comes to the website and in general, product photography is absolutely key. And this is where I want you to invest some money. So you can get a $180 website theme from Shopify. Everything else, you can do on the skimp level, but product photos are where I want you to spend a little bit of money. So don't spend $1,000 on a logo. Don't spend $10,000 on a website unless you happen to have a lot of extra money to spend. Product photos. You want to do a lifestyle photo shoot. You want to find a brand photographer who can take images of your product, like lifestyle. So people using them, or for you, it would be pictures of dogs like laying in the bed. And then you want some simple like white background photos. And those are what will 100% sell your product.
So what is like the range, the price range that people can expect to pay to have really high quality photos taken?
So I mean, I'll just give you two examples. One, when I was doing my business, so this was back 2016, I had I used my personal savings to fund the start of my business. And I don't have like a number exactly, but I want to say I launched it with a couple $1,000s spent. That's it. I didn't have any outside funding. I didn't use credit cards. I paid $300 for my photographs, and they were so epic. I literally found a photographer on Craigslist. He was a really young kid, like 20 years old. He was building up his portfolio. He was building up a photography portfolio and wanted like clients for examples. And so I got, I don't even know, 100 absolutely scroll stopping images for like $300. And so,
wow.
And here's the other thing too, a photographer that I use for my brand in Seattle, she has a studio, amazingly talented. I actually did a photo shoot with her for one of my clients who also is a pet brand. And we did it, it was under $500. So I would say, and if anyone has questions, you can reach out to me and I will give you her information, or you can include it in the link below. In your podcast link, but you can find people that can do that stuff for you for a couple $100, and it'll literally change your business. It's in my opinion, essential. And I feel that a lot of people, when they start a product business, they don't know where to invest their money, and they spend a lot of money on a logo. And that really makes me mad because a logo will not sell your products, but having amazing photography, having lifestyle images of people or pets using your product, that is what will sell. And it doesn't have to be very expensive.
Got it. Yes, I'm all about telling my clients, don't spend a lot of money on a logo. I mean, first of all, there's so many resources for when you're ready to have a logo professionally done, and it shouldn't cost a ton of money. But there are so many service providers and professionals out there who are spending outrageous sums of money, especially the lawyers, and it is so unnecessary.
Oh,
yeah. I know.
My logo, like I always laugh at this story because I do think a logo is important, even though I seem like I don't, because I always bash it. My logo for Dapper Dog Box, I think is like, even though that was my first business, I had no idea what the heck I was doing. I feel like my logo was awesome. I found someone off of Fiverr, and I would never recommend Fiverr to anyone. However, I had great luck. I found this nice girl from Indonesia, one of my favorite countries in the world. And she did my logo for me for like $20. And the logo is amazing. And so I had great success with a cheap logo. But I do see people that they think that the logo is like their entire business, and it's really not. And they spend $1,000 on a logo, and then they have terrible product photos because they've taken them themselves with a crappy camera, crappy backgrounds. And that is literally the way to have a business that will not do well. So
such good advice. Such good advice.
I have to say the product photography stuff over and over because so many people, they don't put their money there, and they spend their money on like things that don't matter, that don't move the needle. So
yeah. Well, when you're first starting out, it's hard to know.
It is.
I have to also say that I love the artwork you create for everything you do. It is so good. And of course, we're going to drop links to everywhere, all the places where people can find you and see what I'm talking about. Those will be in the show notes and at the end of the session, or the conversation, I should say. And yeah, you have an amazing eye. You really do. And the Dapper Dog was amazing as well. Really, really pretty. I love it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, so we're now on to step 4. We have our website, we have our product photos. What should somebody do next if they want to make sales?
You have to really, there's 2 things, and I think they're probably very separate, but you really have to get sales. Like the first part is coming up with your product. Then you have to have a place where people can buy from you, which is your website. You have your photos so you can market, but the most important thing now is marketing. 100%. You have to market like a ninja. So you really want to get started on social media channels if you already haven't. So I always tell people, don't get overwhelmed. Don't feel like you have to be everywhere. And I see this all the time. People are like, oh my God, there's TikTok, there's Snapchat, there's YouTube, there's Twitter, there's like 500 different places. How can I create content for all of them? And my answer is you don't and you shouldn't. You should choose one platform that can be like your easy place for visibility. And really, in my opinion, that's going to be Instagram/Facebook. I'm going to count them as one because they're owned by Facebook. And honestly, if you have Instagram, you literally share everything to Facebook and you're killing two birds with one stone, basically. So Instagram and Facebook is first, and that's going to be your like visibility channel that you can connect with people. You can show your face, you can tell your story, and that's going to be your place to get fast sales. The second one I'm going to tell you, and you're probably going to be shocked or not really be very into it, is going to be Pinterest. Pinterest is a search engine. And I know, Jennifer, I know that you like Pinterest too. It's a search engine and it's going to help you show up on Google over time. It takes a long time to work, but the sooner you can start putting stuff on Pinterest, the better your business will be growing, honestly. And Pinterest now it's a sales channel, just like Instagram, just like Facebook. Everything now, all the social media channels are catering to product businesses. They really, really are. And now Pinterest, you can shop from Pinterest. You can create product pins where you tag your products, just like Instagram. Because it's a search engine, it's going to actually help you show up on Google, which in my opinion is the most important part. So I think like getting your social channel set up. And then the second part of that is your email list, which again, like super, super important. And I know, again, Jennifer, you are like an email marketing ninja. So I know that you'll appreciate the email marketing, but you got to grow your email list. And that's going to be equally as important as like the social media stuff.
Yes, email is so important. And it's especially important because lately I've heard of so many people who have been getting shut down on social media for like no reason. You know, we don't own that real estate. And if you are relying on it 100% for your business, you're basically very vulnerable to sabotage or shutdown.
That actually happened to one of my clients. They had 12,000 followers on Instagram, and it was like very engaged audience. Like I started their account for them about 2 years ago. And so it took me 2 years. I'm sorry, I didn't start it. I like took over their account when they had 1,000 followers. So it took me about 2 years to get to 10K and then 12K, and it got shut down, and it like such a nightmare, and it's like gone forever. And so we had to start a new Instagram account for them. And it's really hard. And so I warn people like day and night, and I've been warning people about this for years. Like you have to be on more than one channel. Instagram is not marketing. Like, I mean, it is marketing, but it shouldn't be your only marketing source.
Right.
And unfortunately for my client, like they're now one of my new story examples of like, you have to be in other channels. For them, luckily, it was more of a headache and not a catastrophe because we have Pinterest set up. We have an email list. We have content. We do blogging. We show up on Google. We have SEO. So they have other ways to make money. But for some people, Instagram is the only thing that they do, and they will just be screwed. So,
oh, wow. I hate hearing these stories, but unfortunately I hear them more and more. And it just, and it's so funny because the average new business owner or even established business owner who hasn't used email always underestimates the power of email. And email
oh my God, yes.
is so powerful. It's the most dynamic and intimate form of business communication that there is. And everybody, I don't care what you do, you need to be growing and nurturing your email list. And I've been studying and practicing, putting everything I learn into practice for a while now. And I can vouch for you. My email list is so powerful and totally a source of sales, even for both of my businesses, So yeah. And also Pinterest for me, what's really interesting about Pinterest is that you can take like an Instagram story and you can repurpose it as, I think they're now calling it Pinterest ideas. Yep. And yes. And so I've been doing that, Kerrie, since you taught me like a year ago, and I definitely get leads from Pinterest. It's insane.
It's really funny. It's funny how my one thing is like video is everything right now. And it just shows that across platforms, you have to adapt your business to do video. But yeah, it's funny that Pinterest is now on the bandwagon of like Instagram. I mean, they're, now they have story things that will pop up at the top, just like Instagram stories. And I will say for Pinterest, video is what's working right now the best. So you can repurpose anything from Instagram. If you do an Instagram reel, if you do an Instagram story, if you have like a video of your customer using your product, you download that stuff and then pop that into Pinterest and your account will blow up. Pinterest is prioritizing video. And so just like Instagram reels, your stuff will get pushed out. And, like I had a video recently we uploaded for my client. I'm not even joking. Like, it's ridiculous. It was this really silly video of two dogs playing with a toy, like nothing special. We uploaded it. That video has brought us 300,000 impressions over like the last 2 months. We've gotten hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people coming to the website from this one 10-second video on Pinterest. Like, it is insane. And it just goes to show you that Pinterest is prioritizing video. And so even if you're like, well, my video is not great, it doesn't have to be. It can literally be a silly little video from your phone, and that's okay.
Oh yeah. That's what I do. I post silly little,
Yep.
I could be your exhibit A. I post silly little videos from my phone, and I have had incredible success. My issue is consistency with Pinterest, because there's only so many things that we have time to focus on, right? That's a huge issue. I mean, that's why I think it's really super wise that you counsel people to focus on Facebook and Instagram and to like just really have that be their primary social media channels and master those before you move on to the next one, and definitely use those to grow your list.
Yes, I agree with you. And that's what I did for my business. I focused on Instagram for the first like 9 months. And, I grew my account actually really pretty quickly. I grew it to 42,000 followers in like 2.5 years, but it took me like the first year to get to the first 10K. And then once I hit that, I was like, all right, now I need to really diversify the ways that I'm getting customers. And so then I doubled down. I started an affiliate program, and I just did other things like Pinterest and stuff. So I definitely really started small. And once I got Instagram under control, I then moved on. But again, like, you don't want to spend 2 years only focusing on one channel, but you have to do baby steps. I think it's hard to do all these different things, and you just have to do the best you can and like repurpose everything. Like, if you make one Instagram post, literally, you don't have to reinvent the wheel for Pinterest. Just literally share it on Pinterest or any of that stuff, but you have to repurpose stuff.
Yes, absolutely. Now, are there any tools that you recommend that you use for repurposing?
No, unfortunately, I have none. I like for Instagram, share it on Facebook. And what I do is if we upload a video to Instagram, we just download it into a Google Drive folder. And then I have a Pinterest, right now I have a Pinterest person who helps me. But for my old business, video wasn't as big back then, but I would just create a pin for it. So I would just have to use the same image, and you can use some of the same stuff that you would put in Instagram. So there might be a better repurposing tool, but for Pinterest, you definitely want it to be different than Instagram, because it's a different channel. Like, Instagram is way more engaging. Pinterest is more of like search engine. It's kind of like Google. So the way that you would format the content would be a little bit different, but anyway, I'm rambling. I don't have a good answer for your question. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's cool. How about like Hootsuite or Tailwind or Meet Edgar? That could be a way.
Yeah, I never used Hootsuite. It sounds funny. I feel like I hear about it all the time. I never used it. And Tailwind, yes, Tailwind is a good example. And I do use Tailwind. I just didn't even think of that. So that would be a great way to repurpose. And I love Tailwind. Oh my gosh, it's like the greatest platform.
Yes, that's what I hear. And then I've tried it. I've experimented with it, but I always come back to Meet Edgar. That's my favorite.
Oh, I've never heard of that. I'm going to write that down. Meet Edgar.
And it used to be that they didn't, but they do now allow you to post automatically to Pinterest. I'm 99% sure of that they now integrate with Pinterest. Everything's always changing, you guys. Like this is one of the reasons why the online marketing space is so fun, because it's a moving target. It's so incredibly dynamic. And the things we did a year or so ago are going to be different from what we're doing today. I mean, Instagram, the founder of Instagram just came out and said that, hey, we're falling behind TikTok. And so now we're going to start prioritizing video. We're going to be more of a video platform. And Instagram started as a square image, static image sharing platform. So it just shows you how you've got to be adaptive. And last night, that reminds me, last night I had a dream that I deleted TikTok from my phone.
Oh, geez. I haven't gotten into TikTok yet. I feel like that's going to be my next thing that I really tried to learn about for my clients and stuff and my students, but I haven't done TikTok yet. I'm not sure how I feel about it, but I feel like, whatever apps and platforms are very popular with like younger people, I feel like that's also where you probably need to be. So
yeah, absolutely. So good. So good. Okay. So we're now making sales and we're marketing and we have our email list and I don't know if people really understand how to use these social channels and leverage them in order to build their email list. But basically what you want to do is you just want to have links in your bio or link in the body of your post to a place where a person can opt in to receive free information or a discount or something like that. I mean, that's what I'm thinking you're referring to. Is that accurate, Kerrie? Do I have that right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel like for Instagram, you can definitely leverage Instagram to grow your email list. I think it could be as easy as if you do like a link in bio type thing or like Linktree. I use Tailwinds. I think it's called the link in bio. I actually have no idea what it's called, but I use Tailwinds Instagram linking thing. So in my link right now, I have like a few different things that I have, like listen to my podcast, join my newsletter. I don't know, a few other things. For a product business, you could put something like visit my website or like shop here, join our email list and get a 10% off your first purchase. Like I wouldn't just put join our email list because that's kind of boring. You want to have a good call to action or something that's going to incentivize someone to want to join. And so usually like a discount of some kind is really the easiest way to get people to actually do that. So that would be one thing. The second thing is using Instagram stories to leverage your email growth. So you could have Instagram stories that would just say, again, like, do you want 10% off your first dog bed order? Like join our email list, click the link in bio to join or something like that. So you can kind of keep doing things like that. And then the third option are doing things like giveaways and stuff, which is a big thing I did for my business. So, you could give away a dog bed. You could give away anything like a gift card to Starbucks for $50 or something. And you would just say, go to the link in bio and sign up for our email list. And so you would have, depending on your email marketing provider that you use, you could create some kind of like a really easy like opt-in page, and then people can give you their email address in exchange for something for free. So I feel like those are 3 super easy ways, but I love, love, love giveaways to grow your email list.
Yes, I need to do a giveaway. I have never done a giveaway, but I have something similar to Linktree. It's called Beacons. And so I love it. I like it because it allows you to be really super creative with the background photos and the buttons, and you can have rich media content that you link to. I just really love the possibility of Beacons. And so I've been using that, and I love being able to track and see like who's coming and from where.
Yeah.
It's just so fun when you start using these tools and can use the information that these tools can collect in order to get intelligence about like who's interested in your stuff.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, Beacons is great. Check the one that I have in my Instagram bio and tell me what you think. I really like it. Every time I look at it, I'm like so happy, and it's so easy to use. Yeah. Well, that's important to me. It's like, if I don't like looking at my stuff, then I got to redo it. I got to redo it. I'm sure you're the same way because you're so visual.
My God. Yes. I can't deal with like anything that looks ugly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if anybody ever has any questions about the tech and how to set it up, it's pretty understandable. But in the beginning, when you're first starting, it's so easy to get overwhelmed. And I help a lot of people set up their landing pages and their pop-ups and integrate those with their email list. So just, reach out. Let me know. I'm here. That's what I do. Okay, Kerrie. So what next? What next?
So I think the next thing is if you have a product business, you just have to keep marketing it. So you started small, you have your email list, you're continuing to grow it. You also want to have a great pop-up on your website, and that's going to be really like the basic, easy way to grow your email list. So I prefer Klaviyo for product business email marketing. It's my favorite. And they have all sorts of fancy little pop-ups and exit pop-ups. So I would definitely do that to keep growing your list. And then in terms of other things that you want to be doing. So one is influencers. Influencers are a really easy way to get visibility. And I think for a product business, like you start small, you have a couple channels, Instagram, maybe Pinterest, you're growing your email list, and then you want to kind of expand from there. So you want to focus on things that are going to grow your business without you spending your energy. And that's why I love influencer marketing and affiliate marketing. They're probably my two favorite forms of marketing because guess why? You don't have to do anything.
The hardworking, lazy person solution to marketing their stuff online.
Because Instagram is such a time suck, and it's a time and energy and mental suck. Like you can spend time on Instagram and after feel sad, defeated, overwhelmed, frustrated, or really happy. Either way, probably a bunch of range of emotions. But Instagram takes up a lot of your time. And so when I work with my clients or my students, I really teach them it's very important that you find ways to get sales that are balanced, of your own time. So Instagram is the big time suck. So what else can you do to get sales without spending your own time? And that's going to be influencer and affiliates. And so the reason I really like affiliate marketing is because, I prefer the platform Refersion. I've used a bunch of different platforms. Refersion is really awesome. It's very Instagram centric. So it's easy for people to sign up and promote on their Instagram, which I like. But affiliate marketing is great because that will help you get lots of features and blogs and things like that, which is going to help your searchability on Google. So when someone searches for like the top 10 best dog beds, you want your stuff to show up somewhere. And if you get featured on different blogs where they include like, here are my favorite dog beds from Amazon, or here are my favorite dog beds for the spoiled dog or whatever. And so that's why I really like affiliate marketing, is because it'll help you get features on like blogs and podcasts and YouTube. And it's not just Instagram focused. So I would say those would be my next few things I'd be focusing on. Influencers, focus on quality over quantity. Find people that feel like they fit with your target audience, and you can send products for free. I don't really encourage paying people, especially if you're a new business. But if you want to, if you have budget, you can experiment with that. Like I said, I wouldn't recommend it though. Plenty of people will work with you for free, especially if they have like 10,000 followers, 15,000 followers. But that's going to get you a lot of exposure, and it's going to get you in front of the audiences that you need to be in front of. And so those are like two surefire ways to get lots of sales, continuous sales, by focusing on those two things. And the best part again is that you're not spending any of your own energy. Like, yeah, sure, you have to send product and all that, but they're doing the job for you, which is what I love.
So good. Yeah, I love that. That is so valuable. Whoever's listening, what you're getting here is the best advice from someone who's been there, done that, teaches other people how to get amazing results. I'm so grateful, Kerrie. Thank you so much. Is there anything else after you're now reaching out to influencers and doing affiliate marketing that people need to know that they should be doing in order to ensure that they're doing everything that they can to sell as many of their products as they can? make as
I
much
mean,
money as they can.
I think those are some of the key things. I mean, there's so many other things you can do from content marketing. So I'm a really big advocate of blogging. Blogging is something that's going to really help your Google. I don't even know what it's called, like Google searchability. I'm not sure if that's even a word, but
Your
basically,
rankings.
yes, you're ranking on Google. So when someone goes to Google, 80% of search overall starts from Google. So you want to make sure that your stuff shows up. And that's going to help your business grow over time, because people go to Google, they search for dog beds, your link is right there, and they click on it. So it's not paid advertising, it's not paid search, it's not from Instagram, it's literally Google selling your stuff for you, essentially.
Yeah.
But to get there, you have to create content. So content that will help you show up on Google is going to be blogging or YouTube, really the only two. Pinterest actually also helps you show up on Google, but blogging and YouTube are going to be the top two. And so you want to create content like around your product and like what your customers would like. So like, for example, one of my clients sells dog toys. And so we have a lot of different content, everything from how to plan your dog's birthday party to DIY dog treat recipes, how to like travel, the best dog friendly hotels in Los Angeles or something. So we create lots of different content for pet parents. And so when they go to Google, they search for like toys for golden doodles. And then that company shows up right there and they click on it, they read the blog. And then there's two things that can happen. One is if you do any kind of Facebook ads, you can retarget all those website visitors. So the more you can get people on your website or your blog, you can retarget them, or they can join your email list. So with your pop-up will show up and say, hey, take $5 off your first order, or like 10% off your first order, or something like that. So hopefully they can join your email list, or they'll say, oh, wait, I actually really need dog toys. I'm going to go scroll through this person's website. So blogging is an incredibly powerful way to get your ideal customers on your website.
So true. And the retargeting that you can do through Facebook, you can also do with Google ads.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let's not forget, retargeting is huge. I'm about to start a retargeting campaign myself for one of my offers. So yes, on Google. Yeah. And I do it on Facebook all the time, but Google is, it's got such amazing potential, but we won't go down that whole huge rabbit hole on this call. But that's a really important thing to do, is you have to have your Google Analytics installed, and you have to have your Facebook Pixel installed and your website verified. Are there any strange procedures that people have to follow to get verified if they're using a Shopify website so that they can retarget people who visit on Facebook?
Oh my God. Facebook has just, as you know, Facebook has just changed everything. So the most recent changes, I'm not exactly sure what to do yet. I actually haven't gone through that process with any of my clients, but there is a process of getting the business verified for Facebook and all that. I haven't actually personally done it yet. I need to for my client, actually. But yes, Google Analytics, super important. You got to set that up and make sure the e-commerce tracker is checked off. And then I forgot the other thing you asked me. Oh, Facebook Pixel. So you want to add your Facebook Pixel and your Google Analytics to your Shopify preferences page. So then you can track all that information and know how people find you. You can learn, where your traffic is coming from and all that fun stuff.
Love it. So good. It's a lot. I'm sure anybody who's listening right now who's never sold a product or anything online for that matter, they're probably like a little overwhelmed. Trust me, I feel you. I've gone through all of this. I've learned all the things. And Kerrie is like the ninja master of products and e-com and all that stuff. So, I mean, you could not have a better teacher or guide than she, if that's what you want to do, if you want to sell a product or have an e-commerce site of some sort. Kerrie, thank you so very much. Is there last chance, anything else that people must know in order for them to make a successful go of this?
I would also say love your customers, like be obsessed with your customers. And I should have mentioned this as one of my earlier steps, but this is something that I 100% attribute to any success I had from my product-based business was from day one, I said that treating the customers will be treated like gold, and they will always be right. And, I'm going to be obsessed with them, basically. That was one of my big missions behind my business. And not all businesses think like that. And honestly, by loving on my customers and giving them support and having good customer service, that enabled me to 100% grow my business. Because what happens is when you treat a customer well, number one, most companies treat their customers like dirt. And so just by treating them well enough, you will get so many positive reviews on different sites. Two, when you treat your customers well and take care of them and treat them show them that you respect them and that you appreciate their business, they're not just an ATM machine for you. They will refer friends, they will refer family, they will promote you on social media. They will take video of your products. They will take photos of your stuff and share on their audiences. You will get so much more business, and you will get those customers to buy from you over and over and over again. So I would say make sure you love on your customers, and that's it. Whatever you have to do to make your customers happy and feel connected to your brand, do that, because that's how you get business without having to spend money on ads and all that. I grew my business to multi 6 figures in 2 years, and I didn't use ads. And for most of that time, I actually only focused on a couple marketing channels. And it was because I treated my customers so well. And so they in turn referred friends and family. They would promote me on social media. They would do all these things for me because I treated them well. So I think the customer part is something that should be factored in early on, and have a plan on how to service your customers, basically, how to treat them well, how to get them to feel connected to your brand.
That is so good. I mean, that is basically my big rule of business, which is customer service, customer service, customer service. And it's all about the relationship and relationship building, and people send people business. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's that's how people do business, is by buying from people that they like.
Yes.
Or love.
Totally agree with you. And that was part of my brand, or that was part of my business from day one. And it really showed, because I had hundreds of reviews on, there was a specific platform called Cratejoy Marketplace, and that was where my business was hosted. It was on Cratejoy. It's a subscription box platform. And I had hundreds of reviews. 99% were 5-star. There was, of course, the one or two, this product is terrible or whatever. You're always going to get the, bad egg in the bunch. But people left reviews, and almost every single review had nothing to do with the product. It was, we love this business because Kerrie really cares about her customers. Kerrie took the time to sort this problem for me. Literally, using my name. That's how much I knew my customers. I would remember where they were from on social media. I would say, oh yeah, we sent you this dog ball, or I would remember details from their sign up page. Their dog was this type of dog and they liked this type of toy. And so customer service is something that I think a lot of people are like, oh, whatever. It's a boring thing. It's so important. And I feel like my business is such a great example of leveraging customer service, customer experience, and literally getting your customer super fans. So I feel like I'm rambling a lot about this, but I'm very passionate about the customer angle.
Yes, with good reason. Well, that's so great. And that's such a great note to end this conversation on, our e-commerce product-based business strategy session on, because that's basically what it is I now have a step-by-step plan, and I'm just so grateful.
Aw,
you're so good. I just love your passion, and I love your how competent you are, how high your skills are, and the fact that you actually make stuff happen and you're committed to helping other people learn how they can do it too.
I love it. Yeah. I mean, it was such a struggle for me when I started my business, and learning all the different things. A product business is so different than service, where you're just like, all right, I'm going to have a website. I'm going to start an Instagram, and you can kind of sell stuff. But a product is like, everything from the packaging and how do I ship this? And like, what kind of box do I buy? And how do I make a sticker for the label? Like, there's so much that goes into it. And so it was hard on me when I was doing that back in 2016. I had a new baby. I was like juggling all the things. And so when I sold my business, I was like, you know what, I want to help other people start and grow their business without going through like the hell that I had to go through. So I'm very, very passionate about helping people and all that kind of stuff. So
I know you are, because you've helped me so much, and I'm really grateful. You're still helping me. So Kerrie, thank you for being here. Can you please tell people where they can go if they want more information about who you are and what you do?
Sure. So you can visit, go to my website. So kerriefitzgerald.com, Kerrie Fitzgerald.com, or you can find me on Instagram, kerrie.a.fitzgerald. And yeah, if you listen to this episode, send me a DM and say hi. I'd love to know, more about you and your business if you have one, or if you want to start a business, send me a DM and just tell me what your idea is. I love hearing ideas, and I love helping people kind of feel inspired to actually go for that business.
Awesome. Fantastic. Kerrie, thank you so much. It was such a great conversation.
Such a great chat. Thank you so much for having me, Jennifer.
Okay, thanks. Hey, thanks for listening. If you liked what you just heard, I'd really appreciate it if you would go on to Apple Podcasts and leave a review and rate the podcast. When you do this, it helps make sure that other people who might benefit from this message will find the podcast and hear it. Also, feel free to tell a friend, share it with someone who may also need to hear this message. And you can also follow me on Instagram at I am Jennifer B. Gardner. Feel free to connect with me there. You can always send me a DM if you have a question or you'd like to chat. And if you're looking for information on how to automate how you can get leads for your business, and you're feeling sort of overwhelmed by the whole online marketing thing, go to romehowell.com/my strategy and download a free resource I created that will show you my strategy for growing your business using a very simple approach involving email, video, social media, and a simple automated sales funnel. I'll drop the link in the show notes, but you can go to www.romehowell.com/my strategy. I will see you next week. Take care. Thank you.